Dear students, welcome to the module 3 of Engineering Statistics and Linear Algebra. The name of the module is Random Process. And syllabus contains these topics: ensemble, PDF, independence, expectations, stationarity, correlation functions, ergodic random process, power spectral densities, linear systems, and some exercise problems. Main reference book is Richard H. Williams, Probability Statistics and Random Processes for Engineers, Cengage Learning, first edition, 2009. Now, we have many real life situations where observations are made over a period of time and they are influenced by random effects. In electrical systems, voltage or current waveforms are used as signals for collecting or transmitting or processing information, correct? As well as for controlling and providing power to a variety of devices. These signals which you are using as waveforms, these signals are functions of time. And there are two types of these signals. They are either deterministic or non-deterministic. Okay, actually here one deterministic and two, include two here, two non-deterministic. Non-deterministic means random. Okay, while defining the sample space and random experiment, I explained you already. Random experiment means we are not sure about the outcome. So here deterministic and non-deterministic. Non-deterministic is random. And most of the interference taking place over the channel is random. That means non-deterministic interference. A random signal always has some element of uncertainty associated with it, and hence it is not possible to determine its value exactly at any given point of time. As an example, if you have thermal noise generated in electronic components, that will be random in nature. Okay, you cannot determine its value exactly at any given point of time. It is random in nature. So, a random process is actually a random variable with a time function associated with it. Okay, you studied about random variables. A random variable is a rule that assigns a real number to every outcome of the sample space. Correct? Sample space means outcome of the random experiment. Now, the random process is a collection, or we also call it as ensemble, of random variables that are functions of a real variable, namely time t, where s belongs to s, sample space, and t belongs to capital T, parameter. So it depends on the sample space s as well as another variable which is usually called as time. Okay, it depends on two variables s and t. S belongs to the sample space and t belongs to the time. We also call this capital T as set of all indices, that means index set or parameters. So t is also called as a parameter and capital T is called as a parameter set or index set. So remember, a random process is a collection of random variables of this type. So you can draw three x of t s values. Okay, this is when t is continuous. When the time is continuous, this is one part of your random sample function. This is another sample function. This is a third sample function. For example, you can take this curve as the distance traveled by the wheel of your car, for example. This is the distance traveled on first day. So this is distance traveled on the second day, and this curve gives you the distance traveled on the third day. Okay. So first day, between which time to which time that distance is traveled. For example, from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. in the morning. Again second day from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Again third day from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. You can classify like this, and t is taken along, time is taken along x-axis, where x of t comma s taken along y-axis. Now for a fixed value of t, say for example t equal to t1, when t is equal to some constant t1, it is always a straight line parallel to y-axis. Okay, so when you consider this, we write the corresponding random variable as x of t1 comma s, or we simply write it as x of t1. Similarly, for a fixed time t equal to t2, the corresponding random variable is denoted as x of t2. So here it is given, for a fixed value of s, the random process x of t comma s is a function of t, which is called as a sample function or sample path. It is also called a realization of x of t. The functions shown in the above figure are just three of the many possible outcomes of the random experiment. So when s is fixed, say for example s equal to s1, so this is the sample function. This waveform is the sample function. When s is fixed as s2, then this is the sample function. When x is fixed as s3, this is the sample function. So these are three sample functions, or we also call them as realizations of the random process x of t. When t is fixed and s is the variable, the random process is basically a vertical slice through the ensemble. You can see this in the figure. When t is fixed and s is the variable, it is just a vertical slice through the ensemble. This is one vertical slice. In this case, the random process is made up from random variables. Okay, and figure shows vertical slices at some time t equal to t1 and t equal to t2. So in this figure you can see the vertical slices at t equal to t1 and t equal to t2. The notation for the random process x of t comma s is simplified, and it is simply written as x of t. Many textbooks use only this notation for the random process. It is understood that it is also depending on the state space S, sample space, or we also call it as state space. So once again, definition of ensemble is given here. An ensemble for the random process x of t is the collection of all sample functions. Okay, in this figure I have given three sample functions. Like this, if you collect all possible sample functions, if you continue this procedure, then it is called as an ensemble. Each member time function x1 of t, x2 of t, etc., xn of t are the outcomes of the random process. So every member is a function of time. Each sample function is also called as an ensemble member of the process. Okay, so collection of all sample functions is called as ensemble, and each sample function is called as ensemble member of the process. When t and s both are fixed, then random process represents a single number. Okay, here in this example, if t is fixed at t1 and s is fixed at s3, then you get only this point. It is a real number, a number. A random process is said to be discrete time if the index set capital T has a finite or countable number of elements, such as finite set of numbers, the set of integers or natural numbers, etc. Okay, your times set or index set, it is discrete. In that case, random process is said to be discrete time process. Okay, so your T set, the time set or index set, can be set of all natural numbers n in this form or set of integers in this form. Anyway, you can list the values You studied about discrete random variable, correct? So once again recall it. You can list the values taken by the time. In that case, it is discrete time. And in this case, the process is denoted by xn for n belongs to n. If your time set or index set is set of natural numbers, in that case we write this as x suffix n for n belongs to n. Okay. A sample function for a discrete time process is called a sample sequence or sample path. So if you take a sample function for a particular time, discrete time, it is called a sample sequence or sample path. This is one example. Here you can see that time values are discrete. Okay, time values are discrete. Here it is taken as n, but these are along x-axis, the values are time values, and corresponding random process we denote it as xn here in the case of discrete time case. Continuous time process, if the index set capital T, that means set of all possible values of your time t, if it is an interval of the real line, that means time is continuous, we cannot list the values taken by the time, every fraction of a second is also included. So continuously every time element is included, then time set, or you can say index set, is a continuous set. So when your time set is continuous, we call it as continuous time random process. Okay, one example is this sinusoidal signal with random phase. Here this is the phase which is a random variable, and they have mentioned that random variable is a uniform random variable. This is a notation for uniform random variable in the interval 0, 2 pi, where a and omega are constants. Okay, if you draw the graph of this, you get this type of graph. This is one example for continuous time. Okay, time is continuous. Now other possible classifications are classifications of random process. Sample functions of a random process have any features of waveforms we commonly find in engineering. That means they can be continuous, discrete, sampled, periodic or transient, etc. So depending on the continuous or discrete nature of the state space S and parameter set T, a random process can be classified into 4 types. Okay, already I explained you 2 types, but totally there are 4 types. If both the T and S are discrete, then the random process is called a discrete random sequence. Remember, when T is a discrete set, we call it as a sequence instead of process. For example, if xn represents the outcome of the nth toss of a fair die, 6-faced die, then xn, this sequence xn, is a discrete random sequence. Here your capital T index set is 1, 2, 3, etc. And state space is, sample space is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, time is 1, 2, 3, etc. First trial, second trial, third trial, you can consider in that way. So time can be listed. Next type is, if T is discrete and S is continuous, then the random process is called a continuous random sequence. Once again, T is discrete, so it is a sequence. Continuous random sequence. As an example, if you consider Xn as the temperature at the end of nth hour of a day, then Xn from 1 less than or equal to n less than or equal to 24, nth hour of a day. So time can be listed, correct? First hour, second hour, like that. Your time can be listed from 1 to 24. So T is discrete. Your time set is discrete. But temperature may vary from 0 to any real number, correct? 0.0001, if you write also, it is a real number. So you cannot list the temperatures in a particular order. So it is a continuous. So Xn, the temperature at the end of nth hour of a day, is the example for a continuous random sequence. Third type, If T is continuous and S is discrete, time set is continuous, but state space or sample space is discrete, then the random process is called a discrete random process. Example here, if x of t represents the number of telephone calls received in the interval 0, t. For any time t, you can use this value of t in the interval. Then the set x of t is a discrete random process. Here your sample space can be listed. X of t represents number of telephone calls. You can list the number of telephone calls 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Correct? But what is the time? It is continuous. In an interval, how many calls received from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.? If they give you like that, in that case, it is continuous time. Time is continuous. It is an interval, but state space is discrete. Another example, if y of t is the number of customers who have visited a bank from t equal to 9, that means 9 a.m. in the morning, until the time t on a given day. So your time interval may vary from 9 to 16, from morning 9 a.m. to evening 4 p.m. Correct? Usually. In that case, here t is measured in hours, but t can take any real value between 9 and 16. Correct? Even if you write 9.111, it is a time in between 9 and 16. So you cannot list all values of time here. So it is continuous. But you can count the number of customers. Correct? Y of t is the number of customers who arrived. So capital Y is a discrete set. Here y of t is a discrete random process. You can just go through this. T is continuous and y of t is, or state space, is discrete. So this is an example for discrete random process. Fourth type, if both the t and s are continuous, in that case random process is called a continuous random process. For example, if x of t represents the maximum temperature at a place in the interval 0, t. Already I gave you one example of the temperature, correct? But here maximum temperature in the time interval. So time interval is continuous, temperature is also continuous. So both the t and s are continuous. So it is an example for continuous random process. So in all the classifications given above, we used the word discrete or continuous. So when the set S is taken as sequence or process, remember discrete means we use the word sequence, continuous means we use the word process. It depends on the nature of your index set capital T. You can once again go through the previous definitions and check it. When the time set or index set T is discrete, we call it as sequence. When the set T is continuous, we call it as process. So here T is continuous, so we call it as process. So this is the summary of all the 4 types of random processes which we have discussed. Time set or index set T and sample space S. When time is discrete and state space is discrete, you get discrete time random process. And when time is discrete and state space is continuous, we call it as discrete time continuous state random process. Similarly, when time is continuous and state is discrete, we call it as continuous time random process. When time is continuous and state is continuous, we call it as discrete time continuous state random process. So just remember these 4 types of random processes. Another definition, deterministic and non-deterministic random processes. Already I explained you in the first slide. Okay, but again, a random process is called deterministic if future values of a random process can be perfectly predicted from the past values. If a process does not have this property, then it is called as non-deterministic. Non-deterministic means random. We cannot predict the future values from the past values. Probability density function PDF and cumulative density function CDF of a random process. If you have k random variables x1, x2, etc., xk obtained by the sampling the random process x of t, s at times t1, t2, etc., tk. So from the random process x of t, s, for the time t equal to t1, if you take the random variable, it is x1, our notation. For time t equal to t2, the corresponding random variable is x2. These are nothing but vertical slices in your signal, which is shown in the figure here. For time t equal to t1, it is x of t1. From time t equal to t2, it is x of t2. So this way we take x of t1 to x of tk, k random variables. The first order distribution function CDF associated with this random process x of t1, we denote it as capital Fx of t1 of x. Remember similar notation used for CDF of a random variable. Only difference here is that here your x is not a single real number. It is a function of t. So Fx of t1 of x, it is given by probability of all values x of t1 less than or equal to a given value x1. The second order distribution function CDF associated with the random process x of t1 and x of t2 bivariate. It is given by f x t1 x t2 of x1, x2 equal to probability of x of t1 less than or equal to x1 and probability of x of t2 less than or equal to x2. It is having the same meaning as your CDF, only the difference here that your random variables are functions of time. If you take a particular time value t equal to 0, for example, then the PDF can be written like this: f x0 of x. For any time, particular value of time, you can write the PDF like this. Okay, here I have given for t equal to 0. And what is the property of this PDF for any time value of t? Always this fx0 of x is greater than or equal to 0. Similarly, if you have two time values t1 and t2, a pair of times, and corresponding random variables are taken as x of t1 and x of t2, then bivariate PDF fx of t1 x of t2 of x1, x2, it is also greater than or equal to 0, where x1 and x2 are varying from minus infinity to infinity. This bivariate case is also applicable when instead of x of t1 and x of tt, if you take two different random processes x of t and y of t, then also this result holds good. Fx of t1 y of t2 of x comma y is always greater than or equal to 0, where x comma y is minus infinity to infinity. In general, for nth order PDF, that means multivariate density function of order n, this condition holds good. F x of t1, x of t2, etc., x of tn of x1, x2, etc., xn greater than or equal to 0. This result holds good, where x1 to xn are varying from minus infinity to infinity. So nth order PDF, multivariate density function. Now condition for independence. You studied about independence in your previous module. When you say that two events are independent, two events A and B are independent if probability of A intersection B is equal to probability of A into probability of B. It is in terms of probabilities, correct? And in terms of random variables, you studied two random variables x and y are independent if the joint PDF fxy of x comma y is equal to product of marginal densities fx of x into fy of y. Okay, remember the property. Similar property we use here also. Fx t1 x t2 of x1 comma x2, if this is equal to product of fx t1 of x1 into fx t2 of x2, in that case x of t1 and x of t2 are independent random processes. Okay, this can be extended to three random processes also. Okay, fx t1 x of t2 x of t3 of x1 comma x2 comma x3 equal to fx of t1 of x. Okay, it is a typing error. Fx of t1 and of x1, it should be only x1 here, not x of t1, x1, and fx of t2 of x2, fx of t3 of x3. So correct here, this should be only x suffix 1, not x of t1, only x suffix 1. So this can be continued to n events. Okay, joint PDF for n events or n random variables. F x of t1, x of t2, etc. x of tn of x1 to xn. It is given by product of n individual probability density functions. Remember, same idea you studied under random variables in the previous module. Only here difference is your x1, x2, x3, etc. are random functions. They are not only variables, they are functions of time. Mean or expectation. The mean of a random process x of t is given by mu x of t equal to expectation of x of t, which is equal to minus infinity to infinity x into f x of t of x dx. Okay, and in general it is mu x of t, not mx of t. This should be mu x of t. In general, mu x of t is a function of time. The variance of random process x of t is given by sigma square x of t equal to minus infinity to infinity x minus mu x of t whole square into f x of t of x dx. Similar formula you studied under random variables, but here we are using the functions of random process fx of t of x. So in general, mean and variance of random process depend on a parameter of time because the PDF fx of t of x depends on the time the random process is examined. So remember the definition. Correlation functions. We use two types of correlation functions. First one, once again recall the definition of correlation which you studied in the previous module. What is correlation of x and y? You studied it as expectation of x into y. Here, correlation of x of t1 and x of t2, it is given by expectation of x of t1 into x of t2, which is equal to double integral minus infinity to infinity minus infinity to infinity x1 x2 into fx of t1 x of t2 of x1 comma x2. This is joint PDF dx1 dx2. Okay, and instead of the random process values of a single random process at time t1 and t2, if you have two different random processes x of t and y of t, then also we define the correlation function. It is in this form: if expectation of x of t1 into y of t2, which is equal to minus infinity to infinity minus infinity to infinity x1 into y2. x1 is the function of x of t1 and y2 is the value of y of t2. fx t1 y t2 x1 y2 dx1 dy2. Similar definition we studied under random variables. Remember, and when two random process at two different instants of time, same random process at two different instants of time is taken, in that case this expectation, that means this correlation function, is called as autocorrelation function. Auto means self. X with X itself. Okay, autocorrelation function. Anyway, later I will give you the definition of autocorrelation function separately. And this is called as cross correlation function. Both X and Y are used, mixed. Okay, this is auto, X with X itself. This is cross correlation function. So here I am giving you that definition again, autocorrelation function. Usually in the previous example or previous definition here, if you take T1 as T, single time T, and this T2 as T1 plus tau. Okay, if you take some shift operator as tau, time shift operator, in that case, if your T1 is T and T2 is T plus tau, that means T1 plus tau or T plus tau. Here tau is the time shift. It is difference between T2 and T1. That's the meaning. Difference between T2 and T1. T2 minus T1 is the time shift tau. Then we define the autocorrelation function of the random process x of t as Rx of tau equal to expectation of x of t into x of t plus tau. Same definition which you used here. Instead of T1, we write T, and in the place of T2, we write T plus tau. So our T1 is T here and T2 is T plus tau. Then this definition, we also denote it as Rx of tau. You can also use Rxx of tau. We also use Rx, single x is enough, Rx of tau. It is called as autocorrelation function. Note that Rx of tau is just a notation and has same meaning as Rx of T1, T2, which you have written here. This is Rx of T1, T2 or expectation of x of T1, x of T2. Here tau and T1, T2 both indicate the time shift. Similarly, x of t plus tau and x of t are values of random process at two different times which are equivalent to x of t1 and x of t2. Okay, don't confuse. Instead of t1 we have taken t here, and instead of t2 we have taken t plus tau. And this tau is a Greek letter which is commonly used for the time shift. Stationarity. Each definition is important in this chapter. They may ask you the definition of autocorrelation function, mean of a random process, variance of a random process, okay, and cross correlation of random processes, stationarity. All these definitions are important. Ensemble. So when the statistical properties of a process do not change with the time, then that type of process is called a stationary process. In your random process, if the properties such as mean, variance, etc., statistical properties, they do not change with the time, in that case it is called as a stationary process. So a process is said to be non-stationary if the statistical properties are functions of time. That means they change with the time. So let the random process x of t is observed at time instants t1, t2, etc. tp, and corresponding random variables are x of t1, x of t2, etc. x of tp. In that case, if the interval is shifted by the time ts, t suffix s means shifted time ts, the new set of random variables we obtain as x of t1 plus ts, x of t2 plus ts, etc., x of tp plus ts. Okay. And in this case, the stationarity of order n means that a multivariable PDF of order n is invariant with an arbitrary shift in time of ts. So fx of t1 plus ts, x of t2 plus ts, etc., x of tn plus ts of x1 to xn, it is equal to fx of t1, x of t2, x of tn, etc., x1 to xn. So it is not depending on the time shift. After considering the time shift ts to each value t1 to tn, then also you get the same PDF again. So it is invariant of the time shift. Some interesting cases of this result. If you consider only one random variable here, instead of x of t1 to tn, and if I take only one random variable, fx of t plus ts, then this is equivalent to fx of t of x, or which is always equal to fx of x. Okay. In this case, PDF is independent of time or time shift. Hence, it is independent of time altogether. So you can either write fx t of x or just fx of x. The mean of the random process is also constant in this case, mu x of t equal to mu x, and variance of the random process is also constant, sigma square x of t is same as sigma square of x. So that does not depend on the time. Stationarity of order 2 means this joint PDF is equal to this joint PDF. See the difference? What is the difference in their notation? Here we are taking the time shift TS, but here without time shift. That means joint PDF with the time shift in your time instance is equal to joint PDF without the time shift. Both are equal. In that case, we say that the random process is stationarity or stationary random process of order 2. If you take this T1 plus Ts as a single notation small t, in that case what happens? T2 plus Ts, the value of T2 plus Ts becomes T2 plus Ts. What is Ts here? T minus T1. You can write T2 plus Ts as T2 plus T minus T1. I can write this as T plus T2 minus T1. So this T2 minus T1 is the difference between the time instants. We denote it as tau. Okay, it is only the time shift tau. So T2 plus Ts can be written as T plus tau. So this is T now, this notation, and this is T plus tau. In that case, this condition can be written as fx of T1 x of T2 of x1 comma x2 equal to, this is fx of T into x of T plus tau. Same notation with the T2 minus T1 as tau and first term T1 plus Ts as T. You get this expression. Thus, if you have the stationarity of order 2, in that case, bivariate PDF depends only on the time difference tau and not on observed time value t. It only depends on the time difference tau. So at any time instant t, you can find this. Strict sense stationarity. Strict sense stationarity means this condition, multivariate PDF should be invariant of time for any value of n. Multivariate PDF of any order n is invariant with an arbitrary shift in time of Ts. So it is invariant of time. So strict sense stationarity means it is invariant of time for any value of n. But in many practical situations, we just check the stationarity condition for only first two moments. First two moments means expectation of x is the first moment, expectation of x square is the second moment. Okay, because to check for strict sense stationarity, we need n-fold joint probability distribution, correct? Nth order PDF we require. So to avoid this, condition for time independence of first two moments is sufficient in many cases for obtaining a practical measure of stationarity of a random process. So we just check two conditions. First condition, expectation of x of t is equal to mu x. That means this is a constant. This does not depend on the time t or time shift tau. And expectation of t1 into expectation of t1 into x of t1 into x of t2, that is nothing but correlation, autocorrelation, is nothing but Rx of tau. That means finally it becomes only a function of tau, time shift tau. In that case, if these two conditions are satisfied, we say that random process is wide sense stationary process, WSS short form. A very important topic. Okay, wide sense stationarity means mean becomes a constant and autocorrelation function becomes only function of the time shift tau. It does not depend on the independent observation of t time. Okay, it depends on only the time shift tau. When the time difference is 0, that means if you take tau equal to 0, tau equal to t2 minus t1 equal to 0, then your previous expectation formula x of t1 into x of t2, it becomes here x of t into x of t, because t2 minus t1 equal to 0 means both are equal, t1 and t2 are equal. Okay, in that case, or you can also use this formula. So when tau is 0, you get expectation of x of t into x of t. It is expectation of x square t. But expectation of x square can be obtained using the variance and mean. You have the formula sigma square x plus mu square x. Okay, because expectation does not depend on the time, so they become the constants. If two random processes x of t and y of t are jointly wide sense stationary, in that case, the previous two statements which I have written here can be modified as expectation of x of t1 into y of t2 equal to expectation of x of t into y of t plus tau, and expectation of y of t1 into x of t2 equal to expectation of y of t into x of t plus tau. The formula, autocorrelation function formula, can be written like this when you consider the jointly wide sense stationary process. So this can be written as Rxy of tau. Once again, this depends only on tau. This can be written as Ryx of tau. Anyway, we will discuss about cross correlation function later. So this video is regarding some of the theory topics. In the next video, we will work out some problems under autocorrelation function. How to find the autocorrelation function and mean of the random process, and show that it is wide sense stationary process. Okay, thank you.